I have the privilege of introducing my dear friend, Dr. Stewart Perrilliat. Come on up. I met Stuart. He's also been in and out of prison for more years than I have. Neither of us, by God's grace, at least I can speak for myself, I have not been incarcerated. I play basketball in prison. Stuart does even more amazing stuff. We asked again, Stuart could talk to you for hours about the science behind, homelessness and fatherlessness. But we asked him instead to share his personal story and how he used his own trauma as fuel to power and to the place of incredible influence that he now has. So take it from here, Stuart.
All right, how's everyone doing? So here's the thing. Ted put me on the spot. I don't have any PowerPoints today because of the time that he gave me, so I'm just going to have a conversation. So I grew up in East Oakland, in the deep East. When I grew up in Oakland, I had a father at home. A father who went to work, took care of the bills and everything, but wasn't present in my life. Very abusive. He was an alcoholic, a womanizer, and during this time, I was an angry kid. I fought every day. When I say every day, I mean every day. So when the teachers, back in the day, they used to have these phones on the wall, and it used to go, I would stand up. They say, Stuart, you need to go to the office. I mean, it was repeatedly. I fought all the way till about the 6th grade. Well, I should say the 8th grade. And when I got into the 7th grade, I started playing basketball. And that was my passion. And I took all my into that. But then in the areas in which we grew up, there was a lot of temptation. A lot of things that we did that was illegal. You fill in the blank. I mean, if you could think, we did it. I had a father that told me that I would never live to see past 16. Every day. He reminded me, and I won't tell you how he said it, but he did tell me, you would never live to see 16. Now, when your father's telling you this, the man who is that model, that person who you look up to, you believe it. And so I began to believe that I would never live past 16. So that means that I need to start doing everything I can before 16. Because anything after 16 was a bonus. So I'm talking about stealing cars, selling drugs, you name it, breaking into houses, robbing people, because I'm only going to be here until I'm 16. So when I got in high school, I was past 16, but it was still in my mind that I wouldn't live past 16. And so I was still doing the things that I shouldn't be doing. And my junior year, I had multiple offers. Now with my father, as I got older, I realized that he didn't know any better because that's what his father did to him. And I wanted to go to a school that Bill Russell went to. If anybody knows about Oakland, he went to McClymonds High School. They recruited me in the 9th grade. That was my goal. My dad said, no, you can't go. He forced me to go to a school that I didn't want to go to. Even though the school were state champions, I went to Castlemont, which was the rival of McClymonds. And I think about the players. I played with Allen Iverson. I played with Alonzo Mourning. I played with Gary. I was before Gary Payton. And Gary Payton had a dad who was always in his life, coaching, teaching him. And I think about it, and I said, wow, I had a chance to go to UCLA. Walt Hazzard recruited me out of high school. Walt Hazzard was Reggie Miller's coach at UCLA, same year that I graduated. But my thing was, I'm trying to get out of Oakland. So I joined the Marines. And I prematurely joined the Marines before really actually seeing the benefit of what could have happened. Because you got to remember, in my mind, I didn't know my worth. So I joined the Marines for discipline, moved to Virginia, and everything that I did in Oakland, I did in Virginia, and more, in the Marines. And at this time, I'm trying to figure out, I came to the Marines to change my life, and then think after 4 years, I'm gonna go back to college and then go to the NBA, and I'm doing worse than I did when I was living in East Oakland. Because see, the thing is, you can change your geographical area, but that does not mean you can change your mindset. So I run a program called Man-to-Man Urban Youth Advocate. And Man-to-Man deals with everything that I just told you about. But we specialize in fatherhood. Because see, the fatherhood piece is the part that most of our young men, I don't care what color you are, and men in the room, you can look and think about your experience with a father and how that father impacted your life, positively or negatively. And so I've been going to San Quentin State Prison since 1995. And I've been working with I started playing basketball against the inmates. And then I started working with the San Quentin News Department. And I'm preaching in the chapel. And now I run my programs in the chapel. And so I run programs with communication. I run programs for emotional intelligence. I talk about emotions because that's the stuff that we don't talk about. And I got a captive audience because they're not going anywhere. And these men actually get an opportunity to open up and really be transparent about their lives. And they're crying, and they're like, Dr. P, you got me in crying like a little woman. I said, no, you're human. And humans have emotions. And see, what happened was you took a temporary thing, because emotions are temporary, and you turned it into a permanent situation. You got angry, you got frustrated, you didn't know how to manage your anger, so you killed somebody, and now you're doing life. Now, some of you may not understand that might not be your story, but trust me, those guys that I work with in San Quentin was me. I did not go to prison, but I didn't say I shouldn't have went to prison. I tell them all the time, I said, the difference between you and I was that you got caught. And I'm not saying it in a funny way, because it could have been me, just like it could be you. Anybody can make a bad decision. And that's what my daughter's like, Daddy, I'm concerned about you going into San Quentin. I said, baby, I'm gonna be all right. She said, but those are criminals. I said, no, there's some bad people. There's some good people that made some bad decisions at an early age. Each one of us, if we think about our lives, have made some bad decisions, but you didn't go to prison. Or maybe you did. These are barriers that my dissertation was on the recon mission. Reconciliation through fatherhood training. Because when we talk about what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about poverty, we're going to talk about homelessness, we're going to talk about human trafficking, we're going to talk about all of these drug addictions, but the root cause is not that. The root cause is fatherlessness, the most destructive trend of our society in every country. So when we think about this fatherless piece, we got to be able to get more fathers engaged and actively and present and consistent in their children's lives so that we can change this thing. And I'm working with the California Fatherhood Council, working directly with the state of the Department of Child Support Services for legislations and policies, because the system is not very friendly when we talk about fatherhood. Are you hearing me? So this is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you so much, Stuart. That really touched me. One of my friends, when I was in San Quentin playing basketball, looked at me and said, words matter. Don't call us inmates, because it's inmate number. We're not a number. We'd prefer you call us incarcerated individuals. And I thought about that. Incarcerated individuals, that's a lot of things. That's a lot of words. But I made a point to start calling them my incarcerated brothers. Because, I loved what you said. You didn't get caught. That's not my story. It's not that I didn't get caught. It's that I was born in an incredibly loving, amazing family. But, going to prison, realizing they're just people. Had I been in their circumstances, I don't think I would have done much better, because I had the same human toxicity in me as in all of us. And I tell you, going to prison has changed my life, changed my perspective. Well, if I were to listen to Stuart as long as I wanted to, we would never keep on time. So let's give him a big round of applause.